Hi, it's Joy and Tim Country watching Fargo Season 2, Episode 2, Before the Law. That title could mean so many things in the context of this show. A huge thank you as always to Albert for sponsoring this show. I am loving it. Again, thank you so much. A reminder to anyone on YouTube that you can find the unedited versions of all my reactions up on Patreon, and you can also get the edited version 1 week early, unedited 2 weeks early. You can sponsor shows like Albert. Just thank you so much to everyone on Patreon, especially Albert, who have supported me. Albert, you're one of my original patrons. Thank you so much for all of your support. It means so much. And I am really excited to get back into the crazy world of Fargo. I'm bracing myself for... I'm bracing myself for more murders, but then there often were a few episodes last season where there were no murders, so maybe this season will go murderless. But yes, we will find out. I'm excited. Let's go. I feel like I just almost remembered Martin Freeman's character's name, and it's escaped me again. Lester Nygaard. I got it.
Is he listening to me?
I don't think so.
Cut off his ears.
Delightful.
He's a girl.
Oh, wonderful.
Girls grow up to be women.
I mean,
Change boys' diapers.
I don't think any of your children should be forced into this crime lifestyle, but she should just as much as the men.
Right?
So with my partners.
Meaning Grandpa.
No.
He's not.
Stroke.
We should have a moment of silence, maybe.
It's not exactly a warm and fuzzy family.
His new boss. Mom, boss can't be a woman.
Oh my god, your mother raised you.
Who says?
I hope you don't make it out of this season, given that a lot of people do die. Or at least end up in prison. That's my preferred, I suppose. You know.
Eat.
I'm not hungry.
Quick power plays over the bread.
I'm Bri. Can you do that for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Wherever he is, whatever he's doing,
Dead.
bring him home.
Being dead. He murdered a lot of people, now he's dead. Possibly to be sold in sausages to customers at a butcher's.
Unless the woman, being a woman, maybe can scare her.
Or, you know, maybe she'll see sense and not try and do a war, which will get people killed for no reason.
Papa, did you get some sleep?
Baby Molly.
Went pretty late.
Hey, so knowing she's a judge, that change anything?
Well, you know,
No wonder Molly grew up to be a determined policewoman.
was this judge just...
But there would have been so much glass at the crime scene. She does seem shaken up. I don't think she's as heartless as she seemed in the first episode.
Gotta keep up appearances, right?
She's so, like, ready to be a criminal. See? Women get things done.
Tell him you hit your head or something.
They're gonna think he's an abusive husband.
Bear's thrown in with Mom, and that's his loss.
God, literally.
District video will stand with me if I press.
Succession crises bring down kingdoms everywhere.
And you'll find it.
Never trust anything comes from the sea.
We came from the sea. Tomorrow. I don't know, it's a lot of money and we're saving up right now, so...
They're gonna think she talked to him and he hit her.
Think your husband's more
Closed. Temporarily.
Do they look like normal
We're not really
patrons?
customers.
Mm-hmm.
One of those new automated coffee makers, Sears. You know the one with the clock inside.
The criminals in this show are always so, like, bizarre. Just tell him what he wants to know. There we go, pieces are being put together.
All I said.
If they kill him before his family get here, then they won't get the information. There's only weird silent people in the show as well. Should have just called the police and confessed it. Good times, are you? Maybe put some gloves on. I would recommend gloves. At least that's something with sexism. You can turn it to your favour and get your husband to clean up the dead body for you. It's already such a mess and I just know it's going to get so much messier. I hope she survives and, I don't know, dies in 20 years, because that still sucks, but... No wonder Molly turned out the way she did.
Stay here, okay?
We have no real choice. I don't really want to take my kid into the crime scene.
Want to build a snowman?
No! You can't build a snowman near the crime scene. She sprayed it in his face.
Okay.
The gun, or blood, or the knife, or... Don't touch it, whatever it is. Don't touch it!
Go, Mama!
No.
Alia.
Why is he pulling them over? You're making it very clear there's weird stuff happening here.
Waffles. Gail's idea. Heard you had some real good ones around here.
Did they
You can imagine
say there was a car with 3 weird people?
Now, I'm going to go ahead and guess the boys are in 11, and I'm 2, which would make them toddlers. Now,
I'm going to put out a APB and have you boys rounded up, and then we'll talk again.
Why, though? I mean,
Understand?
we know they're criminals, but there is no evidence on them at the moment, is there? Like, does he think they were the accomplices?
talk. Calmly, rationally.
I'm very stressed now for him. It's weird stuff going on. I mean, they didn't try to hide that they were criminals. It's as bad as Lester's coat, the bright orange car. Or does he just want to cut up the body in the back? He's not planning on leaving it there to be eaten. There's just the tools to cut bone and stuff, right? I'm so stressed it's going to end up... It's just the sort of thing in this show would be that people would end up eating him. Gotta hope no sound carries to upstairs. Wouldn't you just stay and wait till your friend left?
Jeez, what are you, Carl?
Yeah.
No, it's nothing. Just a dust up. Ed had a few too many last night and hit a tree.
Ed did something.
See you at work tomorrow, okay?
This woman's gonna get far too involved and probably end up dead.
Now I'm wondering what else I missed.
Broken
Interested
glass?
on the car I called in?
No. Those
Oh,
fellas
so the- yeah.
positively.
I'm glad that like they're talking about things that matter and that affect them. You know, they're not being as open as maybe we'd like to think, but for 79 they've been quite open and emotional.
Different now, though.
It's the time of the episode where something happens. This is terrible. The last person you'd want to see when you've been covering up a murder all day.
Yeah.
Great. This is like, there's a finger on the floor, we've got a body in pieces, the body of the man you're looking for in pieces.
You want?
How's Peggy?
Yeah, she's doing
Everyone knows everyone in a small town.
Good. Betsy's coming in this week for a trim.
Well, no, Betsy's going to lose all of her hair, so she should shave it off and buy a wig.
I know that.
No, it's on the house.
Oh, no, let me. You gonna get that?
Yeah. No, it takes time grinding a hole.
No, I know.
Yeah, like you've had to do none of the hard stuff.
I love ya.
Now you're covering up a murder for
You
me.
too.
I'm so stressed. Stress. Don't know why I finally ends up like something else bad is going to happen, the building's going to explode, or I kept half expecting the daughter because we saw her go upstairs that she was going to overhear something and come down. The next episode is called The Myth of Sisyphus, which is the book she was reading, but yes. That was another brilliant episode. Continuing the chaos of just what you would do in that situation, how you would cover up the murder. That's something that I really enjoy with this show, is getting in the heads of the people, you know. As much as, like, Lester, I had zero sympathy for him murdering his wife. Like, if you reach breaking point in a marriage, leave. Talk it out. Like, do not murder without a hammer. But it's just so fascinating kind of jump into head and think, what would you do? How would you cope? But he's very lucky he works in a butcher's, because that is a brilliant way to get rid of the... I just pray he's going to throw out the meat and it's not going to end up in burgers and stuff, because that is just too gross. And that's been stressing me out ever since he killed someone and he's a butcher. And yeah, so seeing kind of like, he's doing all of the bad, like, he had to actually kill the guy. He's done all the cleanup and she has done nothing. I still feel like she's kind of the Lady Macbeth of this situation. I don't think she's quite as conniving as Lady Macbeth, but that is kind of the role she's playing in this, like not really getting her hands dirty, but she's set all the balls in motion. And then her boss is weird and creepy. I mean, I suppose kind of, I do think that she's very much, is she Patty? Betty? She's very much a woman that, if she lived nowadays, would be living a very different life to the one that she's in now, kind of where it was just expected that everyone you grew up, when you were in your 20s, you immediately got married, you settled down, you got jobs, you had a kid. Kind of that was, I mean, that's still a lot of people's lives, and that is, I mean, where's my husband? But, that is perfectly a valid choice nowadays, but it's not like seen as the thing that everyone does. You can take as long as you like, you can do whatever. So that's why I feel like the boss is sensing that in her, and if she steals toilet paper from work, she's clearly got a bit of a reckless side, and so maybe part of her, when she hit someone with her car, felt a bit of a thrill. Maybe she did like it. Maybe she's going to be the one to go on a killing spree. I don't know. But I'm very intrigued about kind of the different reactions that they're having, and just what we're going to see, you know, is I can't remember his name, but the husband gonna kind of go shut off, and kind of, it seems like that's how he seems at the moment, like he's just kind of methodically getting things done, or is he gonna also kind of, is it once you've done one bad thing, it becomes much easier to accept morally doing other bad things? I'm just intrigued to see where their two characters go. Then I love seeing Molly and her mom and their little family, her granddad. I'm very stressed now that like the grandfather, Sheriff Lawson, is on the Kansas City people's radar. That's stressful. So is her dad technically. Like, just, I know things are going to go bad. Because A, it's Fargo and things always get a hell of a lot messier and just worse as the show goes on. But also because this has to be the scenario that drove her dad into running a diner rather than working. Maybe it's something else that happened later. Maybe it wasn't going to happen in season 3. I don't know. But I just worry about where the show is going to go. And then there's a succession crisis, the power struggle within the Gerhardt family, and it's just men. Like, okay, yeah, there are plenty of women who want power too, but if you look throughout history, there are more men. And, you know, in this case, sure, the mum doesn't want to give up power, but to be honest, her arguments make sense. You know, have the transition period where she is in charge, where it's more or less the same regime as it was before, and then once kind of things have settled down and they're stable, we can pass the mantle on to you. He can build the relationships with all those people he doesn't have relationships with. You know, she is just as capable as him, if not more so. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she couldn't possibly run it. But you can see that sexism is alive and well in the crime family. And, you know, to be honest, if I was the daughter, I would be like, yeah, cool, I won't get involved in your crime family. Fine by me. I'm going to go live my life not being a criminal. But, you know, women should get to be criminals too. So that family is going to tear themselves apart from the inside, which is going to make it bloody easy for Kansas City to swoop in, especially with Rye being dead. And yeah, just so much is happening. So I'm worried about Molly's mother. I'm worried that maybe she's not going to make it. Maybe they did talk about her being dead and that like he wished he could have spent more time with her. I don't know, because he was busy with the case while she was dying. And yeah, it always kind of annoys me in TV shows when people are having chemotherapy and they keep all of their hair, because that doesn't happen. Maybe it happens really rarely, but you lose eyebrows, you lose everything, you know. It really annoys my mum because she had to go through chemotherapy, and like it does, you don't just get to have a nice bob. You're not going to pop to the hairdressers after you've had a few sessions of chemotherapy. You're going to pop to the hairdresser so you can shave it all off, so you can buy a wig or have a head wrap or something. But I'm always totally okay with shows not shaving eyebrows off of people, because I think, yeah, fair enough, but they could put some kind of thing over the hair to make it look like the hair is bald. But anyway. Molly's little family, it is no wonder she grows up to be determined to be a policewoman no matter what anyone else says, because even if her dad were to stop being one now, for the first 6 years of her life it has been everywhere she goes. You know, she's been out for a nice family day making a snowman next to a murder weapon. I was convinced they were going to find some blood left over in the snow or something. Why would you get out of the car and make a snowman in a murder crime scene? 70s. There's just so much. I love the characters. I love the kind of absolute sense of chaos. You can see how many things are poised to just explode and go into chaos, but you don't know how and when. The whole thing with the fingers and that the sheriff, I'm not the sheriff, like, you know, he's a state trooper, he was there, is crazy. It was just a lot of fun. So I absolutely love this show. Thank you so much, Albert, for sponsoring this reaction. I'm so excited to watch the rest of season 2. And a reminder on YouTube that if you would like to watch this reaction unedited, it's up on my Patreon along with the next 2 weeks, and you can get the next one a week early edited as well. And you can sponsor shows, and yeah, I'm stressed out where Fargo's going to go. I kept expecting So I really thought that the episode was going to end because we saw the daughter go upstairs and the dad not go into the house. I was like, oh, she's going to hear the machines on, she's going to come downstairs and he's going to like whack her on the head and kill her too. I was convinced that was going to happen and it didn't, which I'm very relieved about. But I did see when I was stopping Netflix, when I played the next episode, it was called The Myth of Sisyphus, and that was the book she was reading. So maybe she's gonna be involved somehow in the next episode, or it's just that's a cool title for an episode that'll be linked to The Myth of Sisyphus. So yeah, brilliant show. Thank you so much for watching.